You know, very foolish of me to think that the government could handle the situation, that the government could do something that we kind of need a government for, disaster relief response. Instead, it's been a disaster, the response in and of itself. What is happening in the aftermath of this Hurricane Helene to people, especially in North Carolina? It is horrendous, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a long time. And our government has been inept. As usual, this is like Afghanistan-type failure, everybody. You've seen the video, but let's go through it. Florida, fortunately, you know, they had probably the best, most professional response there. This is North Central Florida, but total devastation. We have no idea what the death toll is ultimately going to be. It could be 300, 400, 500. We don't know. God forbid it goes much higher. But that could very well happen. Now, North Carolina, look at this. Choose the, you know, is it apocalyptic? Is it biblical? Kinda, right? This is insane. Also in North Carolina, this is bad stuff. And you know what you don't see here? Much of a response. Now, I know the terrain is tricky. I know it's hard to get to. But, you know, we have a government that, how much money do we give it every year? A couple of $1 trillion at least, right? They should be up to the task, don't you think? Regular people are suffering, and it's awful, and people are dying. Did you see the grandparents on that roof and the 6-year-old grandchild? All right, these folks, they're in the middle of it, and they are suffering, but, you know, the attitude, though, the attitude is strong. Take a look.
Everyone's just cleaning up for themselves. There's been no outside help. We need some help from government or somebody.
And you know, where are they? It's been not enough. It's been slow. It's been weird. And then there's this nice lady, actually in her bathing suit, but a cry for help.
What's your message for the state and for the federal government? He wants
Get down here and help us. Get here. We need help here now. We need it now.
All right. And it was slow. It didn't seem to have much momentum. We'll talk about why that might be in a moment. You saw Biden in the Oval Office, right, trying to pretend that he was in charge with that person looking at him in a lame Zoom call. I know he kind of walked around for a little bit, but it was slow. And he's not really in charge of anything. This is for optics, right? And they failed at the optics. This is just for show. And Kamala, I mean, again, it's an act. You know, look at me, I'm at the head of the table. Don't anybody ask me a question because I don't know anything, right? And the media complies. How about that? Finally, the most specific, this is, I guess, why they didn't say much, because it's insulting what they're saying and how they're saying it.
Federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected.
All right, you can apply now. You don't have a home, but go down to the Starbucks, I guess, and use their Wi-Fi, right? There is no Starbucks. There is no, just out of touch, right? Out of touch. But I think she knows it, and she wants to appear in touch. Take a look at this as she walks out, kind of like she's on a TV set, right? Okay, this is my moment, right? All right, stage left, there are some people, and I'm going to comfort them, right? Okay, here I go. Watch this. Yeah. More votes. Do I look sincere? Now, this wears thin pretty quick, all right? This is just for the cameras. I don't think it's sincere at all because, well, a little while later, actually about 2 minutes later, Kamala's bored of the situation and walks away in a carefully stage-managed event so she can look like she's talking to this guy in some sort of sincere, you know, fact-finding way. It's all, well, do they think they're fooling anybody? I guess they just might be. But what about this? Is the slow response, could it possibly have something to do with the ethnicity, with the race of the folks, a lot of folks in Western North Carolina? I don't know. I mean, could it have something to do with it they're not people of color? I know we saw people of color. Regular people don't think this way, but they do.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity.
Based on equity, that word, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm suspicious. Everybody should be. This government is completely dysfunctional and malevolent, like slightly evil. They give out, how much money has it been to the illegals so far? This, I believe, is a conservative estimate. FEMA, actually, yeah, just FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Administration agency, $1 billion so far to illegal migrants. $1 billion FEMA emergency. I mean, it's an emergency for us, not for the illegal. I don't get it. Do you? It's insane. It is totally upside down and backwards. Oh, this might be part of it. Mayorkas, the man who lies all day long.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
I don't know if that's true. I can't trust anything this guy says. I hope it's not, well, what it is. Another game, right? To get more money for the agency, not for the response, but for the agency and staff, and to grow and grow. That's what the government does. This is one of those times where the people understand it, and nobody else seems to. On the ground, let's go to it. This guy, I love it. In almost 1 week, the Biden-Harris administration approved $8.7 billion in military aid for Israel, $8 billion in military aid for Ukraine, $567 million in military support for Taiwan, $750 one-time emergency assistance payment for American victims of Hurricane Helene. Let that sink in. That's from the meme guy on Twitter. The people are great. They totally get it. I think this might be from Eric Trump. Is this one from Eric? Yeah, Eric Trump is brilliant. It's not right, is it? $750 for American citizens who have no home, and $2,500 for that guy. The illegal migrant who was getting into the fights with the cops and kicking them when they were on the ground, he got a $2,500 debit card. Just there, on whatever you want. Just, anybody remember Katrina? Oh, this guy. Why did this take so long? 1,000 active duty soldiers to deploy to Western North Carolina. And I heard there are many, many, many more soldiers who want to go. Many soldiers who have family in the area pleading to go, but the government, right? They can't be outside the box. They can't be responsive. They got to be bureaucratic. So again, Katrina, when was that? 19 years ago. It was horrific, right? Totally. Everybody remembers it. George W. Bush, I am no fan of at all. However, he wasn't as bad as they said in the aftermath of Katrina. He wasn't. The storm is still raging, and he said this.
Asked the pilot to fly over the Gulf Coast region so I could see firsthand the scope and magnitude of the devastation. The vast majority of New Orleans, Louisiana is underwater. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses are beyond repair. A lot of the Mississippi Gulf Coast has been completely destroyed. Mobile is flooded. We are dealing with one of the worst natural disasters in our nation's history.
That was leadership, actually, in that moment. It was. And they were doing things. They actually were. There was a lot of lies told about the response to Katrina. Yeah, maybe flying over an Air Force One wasn't the most down-to-earth thing you could do, right? But it was better than anything Biden has done. Obama, Democrats, they were all over this. Remember, for years. This helped undermine President Bush's legacy. That in Iraq, of course. No sympathy there. No, he's not off the hook on that one. But Barack Obama running for president. This was a big, big deal, the Hurricane Katrina response.
When the people of New Orleans and the Gulf Coast extended their hand for help, help was not there. We can talk about what happened for a few days in 2005, and we should. We can talk about levees that couldn't hold, about a FEMA that seemed not just incompetent, but paralyzed and powerless, about a president who only saw the people from the window of an airplane instead of down here on the ground trying to provide comfort and aid.
All right, you see? And it was a big thing, a big theme that the Bush administration, Democrats said, didn't respond because these were people of color. Now, I think that was unfair. I think that was wrong. That's not what happened. But in the case with Western North Carolina and the other states down there, you got to wonder because, well, Biden and Hillary and this guy, they talk in these terms. They talk about how white people have had enough and have had it good enough for long enough, that kind of stuff. That's not leadership. We deserve so much more, don't we? One other thing. Remember Donald Trump with that hurricane he had to deal with? Can't remember the name of it, actually, but this was the scandal, right? They flooded the zone with resources, FEMA. Nobody really had any complaints, or there were no deficiencies in the response. This is what made everybody mad.
It was Trump who used a black Sharpie to mark up an official NOAA map.
It was clear that Mr. Trump had no intention of conceding that he was wrong about Alabama.
President Trump is very fond of Sharpies, and reportedly he himself made the alteration of the map in the hours before this briefing in the Oval Office.
It's a line on the map. That's the scandal. Western North Carolina is in the situation. It's in Hurricane Dorian. Is that it?